Do you want to stay up to date with the messiest drama on the internet? Or what about those crazy viral challenges? Then be sure to tune in to TMZ Verified, the podcast. I'm Wild.
I'm Steph.
And each week we're either breaking down the spicy viral stories or we're hanging out with the most popular influencers around. Tana Mojo is in the building.
I don't even know if they're hating. They're probably just telling the truth, but we love the haters too.
Sophia Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk, but let's be real with each other, you know?
Bryce Hall is here, y'all. Make some noise, people.
I'm single, by the way.
Right.
So if you like viral drama, influencer culture, and just overall hot messiness, check out new episodes of TMZ Verified every Thursday right here on Spotify.
On this episode of MTP, we air our grievances on Odell Beckham Jr., where he may end up, fake Twitter sources, and please God, don't let Ben Simmons come to the Boston Celtics. This is Missing the Point, episode 95. But I guess I'll host the show too. This is nice. Mike's in the Bahamas. Dave's working 100 hours a week. Bob just had a baby. Joe's doing his own thing. So it's you, Ray.
That's right.
That's right. And speaking of that, welcome in, everybody, to MTP. You don't normally hear me at this point. Well, that's not true. They normally hear me immediately when they start listening to the show. But now it's me actually here on the show. I'm here for Rayshawn Buchanan. Rayshawn, your third episode in a row. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's crazy. It went from doing the rotation to now you can't get me out the rotation, baby. It's like I'm the sixth man that got hot. You can't get rid of me now. I love it.
It's basically your show at this point. So what I'll do after all this is done is I'll send you all the payment information for all the bills that are coming due at the end of the week, and you can start doing all that. You can edit the show too after that as well. So that's going to be good. But yeah, really, all the other guys are busy this week, so it's just me and Ray, but that's not bad. We're going to have a good show. Good hour show. We got the Patriots. We got a lot of, you know what? I just want to get right to it. But before I do, Rayshawn, I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite holiday around the year?
Oh, it's definitely Thanksgiving.
I do like Thanksgiving too. For me, considering we're from New England, my favorite holiday, and maybe not a holiday, maybe just an occasion or something like that, is whenever a star player becomes a free agent and then we get to post out those Bill Belichick gifts and that guy at Logan Airport gifts. Those are my favorite time of year because we're just able to speculate on basically whoever wants to come in and, that same guy with dreadlocks at the Hertz checkout, just checking out and getting ready because that's Asante Samuel this time, and then it's Odell Beckham, and then it's Brandon Cooks or whoever. But I'm a little worried about doing this show, Rayshawn, because we are officially on the Odell Beckham watch, and it is just really heating up. I didn't think the report came out earlier today that, of course, Odell Beckham released from the Cleveland Browns officially. They reworked his contract so he wouldn't get claimed. So he officially made it through waivers. He's officially free agent. And they said they're probably going to wait a day or two until they actually see who he signs with. Because really, wasn't he traded from the Giants to Cleveland, or was that a free agent signing? I don't remember.
No, he was no one willingly goes to Cleveland. No, he sorry, that's just what it is. So sorry, Miz, if you ever come on the show. Once again, you consider the A-lister now. You're in Hollywood. You're in Florida. Not even you stayed in Ohio. But no, he got traded there. Obviously the relationship went sour there in New York, so that they chose to part ways with him via trade.
So this is his, this is his first time ever actually being a free agent. So I would think that he would actually want to take a couple of days. But things are heating up right now. You listen to all the reports that you heard earlier. It looks like it's come down to maybe 4 teams, and it seems like it's heading in one direction right now. We'll get to that in just a second. It sounds like, Odell's narrowed it down to obviously the Patriots, maybe the Saints, maybe the Seahawks, maybe the Packers. All would be excellent landing spots to him. Maybe not the Saints. I don't think that's a great landing spot for him. But things are heading... I hate that this always happens, but I love it as a Patriots fan. It seems once again that it's heading in a direction that Odell Beckham maybe by the time we're done with the show, maybe while we're recording the show, is going to be a New England Patriot.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I am on the bandwagon. And listen, I understand that he may not be the guy that he was in New York, and people are like, oh, well, he's become a cancer in the locker room. He had issues with Eli, he had issues with Baker. Yes. Is he going to come in and beat what Randy Moss was? No, we don't need him, to be honest. We don't. We need another productive body at that wide receiver spot. And listen, Borders played great. Aguilar had some moments, but right now this offense is based around tight ends. You need a dynamic option on at the wide receiver position. And yes, has he become super famous from that one catch he made on Sunday Night Football? Yes, we get that. Have we been chasing that moment for him as Odell fan assistant? Absolutely. However, this Patriot team needs him. But if we're being objective and not subjective, another team that I think that he would be great on really is Green Bay. And I know DK does not want to hear that because obviously he's a fan of the team in the same division as that. But I mean, to think of what it could be with Devontae Adams and Odell being really that number two, and you push Lazard down and Valdez-Scantling down to the third or fourth position on the depth chart would be just phenomenal, honestly. And I just think that would be super scary. Aaron Rodgers, we know his talent, what that warrants in the regular season. He has to get better in the playoffs, obviously. But yeah, that would be super scary to see that offense come together. But yeah, I mean, so, we talked about it earlier, few pundits are like Evan Lazar, Jeff Howe. We're waiting on Ian Rappaport. Ian Rappaport's the guy. We're waiting on Ian Rappaport to drop that, to name drop that Odell is signing with the Patriots. But yeah, it seems like, that people have reached out to him. Patriots management has reached out. I think Odell is in that Chad Ochocinco category. What I mean is he's someone that's loaded by Bill.
Sure.
And that's what I mean. So, obviously we don't want the productivity that Ochocinco has. He literally had like 3 or 4 catches maybe that we couldn't even remember. Yeah, if that, right? So, we definitely don't want that. But, like I said, I think if he still has that respect for Bill, still wants to play here, still wants that discipline, so to speak, then maybe he says, you know what? This team still has enough here. Let me see about what I can do. I just hope that he doesn't go to somewhere like the Rams or down to Tampa or, maybe who knows, maybe even Vegas is a little team that makes sense. I know a Chiefs fan that wants to get him, obviously, which that would be insane too, honestly, to play alongside Tyreek and Kelsey. So, yeah, there's a bunch of ways he can go. I'm excited. Like I said, we're on our Odell watch, but, until then, we patiently wait. We constantly check our phones for tweets and, group chats to go crazy whenever that news breaks. But, we're going to keep it at home for right now and get into the Patriots. So, before
we get into that, what kind of player do you think Odell is at this point? I mean, he's just coming off, 2 straight shoulder surgeries, just coming off the ACL, everything like that. Obviously he was prolific when he was on the Giants. He had a pretty good start when he came to the Browns, but since then, he's just not been, when he came in was the prototypical X wide receiver. He was the take the top off the defense and just huck the ball downstairs and hopefully he gets it. Now it seems like he's kind of regressed into like a slot receiver role, and that's not a dig on him. He can be very productive as a slot receiver. Julian Edelman did it for years. Wes Welker before him, Deion Branch, blah, 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 blah. Billion examples, Marvin Harrison too. What kind of player do you think he can still play?
Yeah, I think he can. Like I say, he's not going to be what he was in New York, but I think with his first or second year in Cleveland, he had, he still had 70 receptions for over 1,000 yards. Like, if he does that here, like we'll take that at this moment in his career. Like, he's going to. I think he just turned 29, so it's not like he's ancient history. And remember when Randy Moss got here in 2007, Randy Moss was coming up a subpar year in Oakland. And people thought he was done there. And I mean, granted, the injury history wasn't the same, but he basically felt like he had quit on Minnesota, and maybe some fans feel like Odell Beckham had quit on Cleveland. But I just think there's still a lot left in the tank. That's the second wrestling reference we used in the first 10 minutes. But I just think he can still play, and I'm excited to see wherever he goes. But like I said, hopefully he's wearing number 13 for the red, blue, and white in the near future.
I think when this all gets settled, though, the tea leaves are just pointing so much towards Foxborough. It wouldn't surprise me if I see him end up in somewhere like Seattle or something like that. To me, I think Seattle's his best landing spot. But the tea leaves, everything I'm reading just says and the latest report I just saw right now says that he's probably going to sleep on it and we'll probably have something by the end of the week. I doubt he plays this week no matter where he ends up, but it seems like it's going to be the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, even when they got Antonio Brown a couple years ago, right? Like, the Raiders released him, and they literally New England got him like the next day or two. And obviously, I mean, I was like, oh my god, like who's gonna have like 10 for 150? They was playing Pittsburgh like the next week, so I thought that was gonna happen, but it didn't work out that way. So who knows? Maybe that's not our redemption. So
he played in Miami. He played that Miami game. I remember that Miami game. He played great in that game. That
was it. That's all he played.
And then the report came out on Monday or Tuesday, and he was gone by Wednesday. And then he was just kind of gone till Brady grew his wings and flew down to Tampa.
Right. Right, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, it's in this way, but hopefully, like I say, he come down and be productive. But, there are still a lot of great things happening with the Patriots, so we'll get into that right now. So, coming off their third straight win, they've now improved to 5-4. So just as things are currently constructed, Craig, what are your thoughts about the current state of the Patriots and, this Sunday's win excites you?
The Patriots right now are pretty much exactly where I thought they would be coming into the season. There was a period of time, a stretch of time, a very long stretch of time, because that's how time works, that where I thought that this Patriots team just was not going to be very good, because starting at the beginning of the season, the offense never clicked. They weren't able to put points on the board. They had some very close wins. Joe said about multiple times the team should have been 4-1 at the time. They were, 1-3 at the time. But now they're they're at 500, a game over. This is a playoff team right now. I'm not saying they're a good playoff team, but they're a playoff team right now. And this team basically looks, until, the concussions happen to a couple of running backs, basically the exact same team I thought they were going to be in. I didn't think that Mac Jones was going to come in and light the world on fire. That being said, he's definitely been the most effective. He's definitely been the most effective rookie quarterback coming into at this point in the season. Justin Fields had an incredible fourth quarter on Monday Night Football. But besides that, as far as rookie quarterbacks go, it's been Mac Jones, and that's been everybody else. He hasn't been the most effective rookie. Of course, that's been Jamar Chase for the Bengals. But this is I didn't expect Mac Jones to come in and light the world on fire. He hasn't done that, and that's not a bad thing. This has been a decent Patriots team. I did not expect them to win contend for the Super Bowl this year, or even make the playoffs. Or maybe because they had a weak schedule, we all said they would be like 11-6 at some point. But this isn't a bad team. They're very weak at the wide receiver position, and their tight ends have not lived up to the reputation. But their defense has by far kept them in this game, and also they're top 10 in both offense and defense. This is a good football team. And the AFC in perpetuity, not a great league, not a great conference. So the Patriots are going to be in this. So I think week 17, they're coming to the playoffs. Right now they're in the playoffs as the season ended today.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, they basically control their destiny. And yes, to your point, yes, Mac Jones has definitely been the best rookie quarterback by far. Like it's not close. And if it wasn't for what some other guys are doing in different teams, he would easily win offensive rookie of the year. That's just not debatable. But there are some other guys that are performing well. So, but that's fine. I think Max seems to be a guy that I'd rather get to the playoffs and just see what happens as opposed to getting those individual awards. But yeah, I mean, honestly, they're 5-4, but it's like they are a game. There are a couple plays from 6-3 or even 7-2, right? But they should have been. Like I said, when you spend the money they spend in the offseason, you're not spending that money to be, a team that's kind of hovering around 500 and then maybe finish 9-8, like, barring injury, right? Because that's the only way to me that's happening. But for them to be top 10 in offensive defense, like, yeah, you should be winning some games because now, you're letting Mac Jones, run the offense more. You're getting Harris and Stevenson involved more, which is awesome. That's something that me and Joe talked about on the previous show. You have to get your skill players involved. And, so the next step, getting Smith involved more, getting Henry involved more. Even your guy, Craig, to kill Henry. Like, to me, we joke about it. We joke about it called, just you, Josh. But it's like, to me, that's one play that the carrier can run probably to perfection, right? Because he is so big and so strong, and would get 7-8 yards every time he ran that. So it just makes you think as to why they haven't put that wrinkle in the offense with him. But, but just to their success so far, I hope that this is not the peak of it. I hope that they continue to roll. We'll talk about their chances against Cleveland later on in the show. But, kind of just want to focus on Mac Jones. We've been speaking about him. But, are you okay with him being what he's been the last few weeks, which is more of a game manager? Or do you want him to get back to the status he was between weeks 1 to 5?
I think he's working with the talent he has around him right now. I don't necessarily feel like, and I've expressed this multiple times, I don't feel like the wide receiver group that he has in front of him right now is necessarily what they would call, good. Nelson Aguilar has been, to me, a huge disappointment. Kendrick Bourne has been fine. I'm out on N'Keal Harry at this point. Done with him. See you later. It's not happening with him. It's just not going to happen. I love him. I think he's going to succeed wherever he ends up. It's not on this team though. I don't know. It's not. He just can't get open. He's got the hands. He can't get separated from wide receiver. He can't get separated from cornerbacks. It's just not happening. And then Jacoby Myers is just a fine slot receiver. He'd be a number 3 receiver on any other team right now, but he's the number 1 on this team. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry has been fine last couple of weeks. Jonnu Smith, colossal disappointment to this point. And we don't even know if he's going to play this week because he injured himself again. And now Damian Harrison, Rashad Stevenson, both in the concussion protocol. So I don't know what's going to happen there. They had a bunch of running backs in Gillette the last couple of days and try them out. So we're going to see what's happened there. Damian Harrison's been beat up this season. He's been beat up. He's gotten injured so many times. He's always come back, but he's been beat up so many times. And still, I think he's a top 10 rusher in the league, maybe higher than I know. Coming last week, he had 600-700 yards already on the season. But Ramondre Stevenson, my man, that game he had last Sunday, what a game. That is it's like, I don't like to make comparisons that much, but if you had muted the TV and you had told me that's the Garrett Blount, he's back, I would have been like, yeah, I believe it. He ran exactly like LeGarrette Blount runs.
Yep, facts. That is spot on. And that's literally what I saw. Yep. I agree.
That was like a cornerstone of this offense for 5-6 years, just LeGarrette Blount, getting cheap touchdowns, but having strong, steady runs.
Right, exactly. And so speaking of that, I was actually pissed that first drive where he just basically did whatever he wanted and they gave Harris a touchdown. I'm like, no, let him finish that shit off. What are we doing? This man led y'all down the field. Reward him. He's the reason why y'all got to this point. Let him score. And like I said, I'm a Harris guy. But you got to remember, this is the most that he's carried really since Alabama, right? So, and even then, they had a multitude of backs. So, he's used to being in that platoon system, but because he's the guy that's being featured, I think that's what's led to those injuries. I'm not comfortable with Brandon Bolden getting so many snaps. Now, listen, has he turned around since I gave my proclamation that I was going to drop him off at Logan Airport? Absolutely. He has made me a believer. He has turned things around for sure, but it's still in a limited role. I don't want him being the guy that's getting, 15, 20, 25 touches, right? So I think we're in trouble if that's the case. So I don't know the names they've brought in so far for practice this week, but I know they are home.
Just Jags.
Yeah. So just another guy, right? So I just to me, okay, where's JJ Taylor? Let him play some more Chula. That's another guy. That guy was supposed to be Deion Lewis 2.0. He has Deion Lewis written all over him. Someone that can be in the return game. Someone that can, be that Darren Sproles light type guy. You have to. You have to get him in space and see what he can do. You have that opportunity to do so. So, let it happen, right? Get those Cleveland running backs. Get those Cleveland linebackers in space and just see what he does. But yeah, I mean, listen, needless to say, like I said, New Orleans has been very impressive overall. Like I said, we kind of touched on their opponent for Sunday coming up. They face the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, it's week 10. We have a chance to win 4th in a row. So, what has to happen for you, Craig, to see how does New England win on Sunday?
I think nature already took care of that this week. Then their biggest asset's going to be pretty much on the sidelines for potentially this game. Nick Chubb is their best weapon they have at this point. It's their best thing going. I think Hunt's on the IR. So it seems like everything's going the Patriots' way again, like it normally does. Unfortunately for the other 14 teams in the American Football Conference. But I'm going to circle back for 1 second. Do you mind if I do that? I know I'm breaking.
Absolutely.
I want to complete the triangle because we already mentioned 2 strong Alabama players in Mac Jones and Damian Harris. Christian Barmore is a freak.
Yes.
He's a freak athlete. And I am so happy that he slipped to the second round. Greg, one of the big reports coming out of the draft was Greg Bedard's. There was something happening with Christian Barmore, so he slipped out of the first round and then the second. Happy that happened. Whatever it was, I hope he does it again. Because we have been looking on this New England Patriots team for years to try and find somebody to replace that, that disruptive Vince Wilfork kind of offense, that force on the defensive line. I think they found it. And they have a hell of a pass. They have a hell of a pass rush on this team between Clinton Barmore and Matt Judon, and now Jamie Collins is back again, disrupting plays, making interceptions less than a half a second after it's thrown.
Oh my God! You know what? Shame on me. I'm glad you circled back. Listen, that pick. Oh my God, that pick. Listen, man. We clown Jamie Collins for coming back and forth, but he's that ex-girlfriend that just want to keep coming back. Baby, I miss you. Well, damn it, we miss you too, Jamie. Like, you can still play when you're old and you're in the right mindset. So, we want to keep seeing you rub your belly, Jamie Collins. That means the shit making successful plays. We want to see Judon doing his I don't know, like I don't know what that dance is, but I want to see him keep doing it. Like, so
yeah, I figure that's him. Just I see that. I feel that's him just licking the blood off his arms.
Yeah, yeah. Red, what Donovan Mitchell say? The guy in the red, with the red sleeves, but that's the guy. But Barmore has been a godsend. It's just like Dave Hink defensively. I know last couple years, to get Ducker's been really good. Just has some movements.
We shit on Hightower for a while, but he played really good on Sunday too.
Yeah, finally. So no, it was deserving. Like, it was deserving that we got on him. And like I said, we made that sound like it was true. Like, it was he has not played well and he looked lost in LA. And but hopefully he left that garbage back in LA and he said, okay, I'm ready to show up. So, and I'm pretty sure he got embarrassed on tape. I know because like I said, once again, if Bill was going at Tom on a distant basis, for sure he was going at Hightower right there this week. Like, okay, so. Pro Bowl, huh? 3-time champ, huh? This is what 3-time champs look like. So I know he was pushing his buttons all week. So I'm glad that he responded and did his thing. But also JC Jackson, yes sir, 2 picks because I was hot when I saw Gilmore pick. Yeah, I knew it was coming. I thought he was going to take it to the crib. I was like, he's going to get one against Mac. He's going to run that shit back like he did against Cincinnati a few years ago. That's what I thought was going to happen. But thank God. And it was just, damn, like, I just hate that it was predetermined, right? Like, Mac just looked like, okay, I'm going to throw it to Jacoby regardless. And, Gilmore being the smart player that he is, having the high IQ, he was okay. I'm just going to run the route and I'm not going to get deterred off this rub that they're trying to do or this natural rub that they're trying to do. I'm going to run the route with Jacoby. And then, at the point of attack, I'm just going to, I'm going to break on it. And that's exactly what he did. And, it was a beautiful play. But, yeah, J.C. Jackson, I think he's now up to 22 picks in his first 50 games. And he's already 10th all time in New England, something like that. I think he's now with Asante Samuel now. So, Asante had more than that, but he had 22, I guess, in New England. But I said, wow. I was like, this guy, they may have to franchise him.
Oh, they have no choice.
But he did out. Or just actually give him the money. Don't have a repeat offense of what you did with Stephon Gilmore.
A lot of Alabama talk today on this old New England Patriots team, huh?
Well, it's the pipeline, right? There's the pipeline. Like, we basically draft Alabama players like that. So John Mechie needs to be next. I'm telling you. You've heard it here. I'm telling y'all, John Mechie III. He's a wide receiver. Mac Jones had phenomenal chemistry with him. I'm telling y'all, if we have a first round pick. And I get it. John Mechie's probably going to be a first rounder. His talent award said, watch the tape. The brother's special. Listen, Mac needs those guys that can get the yards after the catch. He's going to catch them there, but Mac needs guys that can turn a 5-yard slant and go and take it to the house. Now, obviously, it's the NFL. You're not going to do it every time, but I'm telling y'all, John Mechie III is that guy. He should be the next guy in the pipeline that comes to New England. I know they got some other guys on there, defensively that would play really well, but John Mechie is the guy that would play well. But it's really wishful thinking because I don't think he's going to fall to us. We'll probably get that guy out of Ohio State, which is Chris Olave. So
before we start to break down the Cleveland game, which I got to be honest with you, if things continue the way they're going, Nick Chubb doesn't play, Odell's gone officially. Jarvis Landry's good, but he's not a kill you kind of player.
Right.
I have to make a special little segment because I've watched a lot of football in my day, Rayshawn. Watched a lot of football. And I've seen some bad football in my day. But I have not seen a player play as bad against one team as Sam Darnold did. And I'll say that with an asterisk. There are two quarterbacks that come to mind that have played so piss poor against the New England Patriots that they just stick out in my memory. Number one is Sam Darnold. Number two is Andrew Luck. They were so bad against the Patriots, and it's just so entertaining to watch because it's just so fun to watch your defense just destroy the psyche of a quarterback. When Sam Darnold eventually is out of the league in like 2 years with Patrick Mahomes.
Here we go. We're not going down that road tonight. It's like you're going to say it.
It's going to be because of everything that the Patriots have done to him. They destroyed him every single time they faced him in New York with the Jets, and now they did it again in Carolina. It's just embarrassing that one team has destroyed this man so bad.
Well, what's wild though? I mean, obviously he was still seeing ghosts just in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's not debatable. He actually had a really good start to the season. They started off 3-0.
He had a phenomenal start to the season.
That's what's wild. Like he actually had a really good start to the season. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe change the scenery, and it was working. And then now they're 1-5, 1-4 in their last 5 games. So things change. And they got some pieces there. Where I know McCaffrey being out hurt them, but DJ Moore's a hell of a talent. Robbie Anderson, who to me is a really good receiver, but Robbie Anderson hasn't done much really all year. So he hasn't been that number 2 that they really needed to be successful. So they've been hit by injuries, but Sam Darnold, I don't know, man. 17 just have your number, right? Like for Tom Brady, it was Denver. Denver was a house of horrors for Tom Brady his whole career, regular season or postseason. Like, obviously he's had some good games. He's beat them before, but Denver was always a house of horrors, right? Same thing with, Mark Sanchez. We struggled. Mark Sanchez struggled against us too. Yes, they got us in the playoffs a couple of times, once I should say. But yeah, Mark Sanchez had the worst game of his career against us on Thanksgiving night, albeit. So that was wild. So, but yeah, no, that's a good thing to bring up, man. Sam Darnold, once again, I do think he can still salvage some type of a career, just as long as he don't see the Patriots anytime soon. So that to me is just it's awful that he's even he just shrinks the size so much against that team. I mean that first pitch to JC Jackson was like, bro, like what was you thinking? Like, and there was some next gen stat about how when you're that close to the end zone, like no one's never not had a completion that even makes sense if that came out of my mouth correctly. He was 0 for 6 with 2 picks in that area. I said, wow. Like that's since they've been keeping the stat since 2009, he's the only person that's ever completed a pass standing like that. Well, and threw 2 interceptions, and one went back to the house. I said, wow. I said that to me, it was almost you were gifting New England the game when you called him to be the starter. They might have had a better chance had BJ Walker started. Like that's just where we are.
That's going to have to be it is for now because, after that game, I guess after that smacking he got from the Patriots defense, separated his shoulder, going to be out for a couple of weeks. It'll be PJ Walker for a couple of weeks, and, maybe that puts Carolina back in it.
I don't even think it's a shoulder, Craig. I don't. I think it's what you just alluded to, right? Is, when your confidence ain't there, and clearly his confidence was shaken on Sunday, they're basically giving him a reset. Like, you cannot say it. You cannot say it to the public, oh, man, we got to give him a reset. They can't say that. I don't think it's a shoulder. And granted, it's trying to make listen. This is week 9. No one's completely healthy, but let's just be real. No, anyone, you got a little neck up knee, your hamstring, whatever, all that. But I get that. But yeah, it was just, to me, it's just a reset. He'll come back in a few weeks, and they'll see what PJ Walker can get. Once that, to me, that's really Matt Rule's guy, anyways. I know they traded for Sandro, but PJ Walker's really Matt Rule's guy. I think he coached him in college, so he knows PJ Walker's game, and which is why PJ Walker is actually in the NFL, is because of Matt Rule. So yeah, that's what's going on with that, in my opinion, anyway. So let's dive into this game for week 10. So like I said, the Cleveland Browns come into town. Like we already said at the beginning of the show, New England's 1-3 in a row, looking for a 4th in a row. So any keys to the game, Craig, besides the running game for New England to win this on Sunday?
I don't really think the Patriots need to really do anything different than they've been doing. I don't think this is a necessarily good Cleveland team. They've been good the last couple of years. I just think that, Baker Mayfield's been too inconsistent when he's been actually on the field. I don't feel like they have the offensive weapons right now, and especially if they're done with Nick Chubb, who's going to be out next week, who's going to be out potentially this week with the COVID issue. I just don't see Cleveland being really in it, even though, that those usually come back to haunt me. It's usually a close game where Cleveland wins. But I don't see it for Cleveland this week. And I don't think that New England's going to come in to Foxborough on Sunday and Cleveland's going to come in and New England's going to blow them out. I don't think the Patriots have that kind of offense right now. But I just don't see how the Browns can win. I just don't see it. I think in terms of matchups, Patriots, this is a check mark for the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, New England should win the game. I'll say like 27-20. I think that's a fair score on either side. I just think they'll do enough to pull away in the end. Both run defenses have gotten better. Cleveland's been good all year run wise, but New England's gotten better with the run, so Cleveland's going to have to throw it. And if Baker Mayfield's throwing there 45, 50 times, we got a real shot to take a couple back. That's all I'm going to say. Because, when you're known more for a commercial than you play on the field, it's a problem. Now, who knows? He may feel rejuvenated now that OBJ is gone. He just might. But, I want to see if he reverts back to what he was last season when they played really well and, got all the way to, the division around the playoffs. So we'll see. But either we got the Patriots winning, and like I said, I'm looking forward to that matchup on Sunday. I want to touch on something from the Boston Celtics. It won't be a crazy long thing because I don't want to talk about them forever. But there is big news, and I'm only taking it seriously because of where it came from, right? So it just wasn't one of these parody accounts.
Oh, can we do a quick sidebar on this?
Yeah.
We started off the show talking with Odell Beckham Jr. potentially coming to the Patriots. It seems like now everyone and their grandmother has a source now in the NFL. Like they know, not you, not Ian Rappaport, not Jeff Howe, not Adam Schefter. Johnny Jr. with 7 followers on Twitter. I have a source that's telling me, he's not coming to Logan. Don't look for it at Logan. He's doing it at the private airport down in Providence or something like that. It's just that everyone thinks this is coming. See, this is coming from a guy who has actually broken one story in his life. I broke and of course I didn't credit. Of course I didn't get credit for it. The LeGarrette Blount come back to the Patriots in like 2012 or 13 or something like that years ago. I heard it from somebody who told me something this, who told me something that. Turns out I was right. It's a little shot in the dark. I didn't really have a legitimate source for it. I had a little bit of inside information, and I just put it out there. Like, maybe he'll be back. Don't be surprised. It turns out he did, so I got lucky. But it seems like everyone's been like, no, I know he's coming. It's already been decided. They're just delaying this whole thing. And the best thing about it is there's no consequences for that. Let's say he doesn't sign with the Patriots, even though I think he's going to. Let's say he signs with the Seahawks. Well, things just changed at the end of the minute. My sources were right the entire time. You can believe me. It's bullshit, dude.
Yeah. Sources, trust me, bro. No, but that happened. Oh gosh, when this would be a good segue into basketball. But I remember when Gordon Hayward came in 2017, right?
See, it just happened. Emotional, right?
Oh,
Motionell on Twitter.
I haven't heard of him. No.
Okay, he's one of these guys who's like, trust me, bro. I know it's.
Yeah, that's trash. That's trash.
All they do is read tea leaves and be like, oh, every arrow points to, let's just say, for instance, Odell signs with the Patriots. Every arrow points to Odell signing with the Patriots. Like, I knew it.
Yeah, I mean, it's comedy, but yeah, that's ridiculous. But no, like I was saying, I remember when Gordon Hayward was signing here in 2017, and these players now, especially in the NBA, want to do a player tribute, and they want to write different notes, say, "Oh, I was here for such years, and I love the city, I love the fans, and how can I ever repay you?" All that bullshit. So Chris Haynes goes to ESPN and says, hey, Gordon Hayward played to sign a 4-year deal for 128 going to the Boston Celtics. So because Gordon Hayward seems and people didn't break it first, they were trying to discredit Chris Haynes, like, oh, we just know what he's talking about, da-da-da. And I'm like, no, like, he just had a chance to go speak to Jazz ownership and say he was going to go sign, but clearly Chris Haynes knew what he was talking about, but they tried to discredit him. It happens way too often in professional sports, and like I said, it's wild to me that Joe Schmo can get on Twitter and just act like they are in tune like that, and it's comedy. But let's get
enough of that. Let's get to the Celtics, and because we're both gonna hate this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So look, Sham Charania, who's the other, he's the Woj of the Woj that's not on ESPN. Basically, put a report out there that the Celtics are looking to trade for Ben Simmons. And then any deal that's including Simmons would have to bring in, had to be, centered around Jaylen Brown. I went on a rant last week talking about how it's time to break it up. And, we gave credit to DK because DK was a year ahead of this with us. I said, and I still stand by what I said about how I thought it was early last year, but, they haven't shown anything even in this early season that makes me think that they should still be together. Now Jaylen Brown is hurt again. He's out for another couple of weeks. So that part's crazy, but yeah, before I kick it to you, I'll just give my thoughts on it. Like, when I saw that, I'm like, if he can't mentally handle Philadelphia, I don't know how he's going to handle Boston. Because this is the same guy that had a 1 point in a playoff game. I think it was in game 4 here in Boston during the 2018 semifinals. If you can't handle playing in Philadelphia when they're on your head consistently, you're not going to do much here. Now, on paper, I want people to, as you listen to this and you're like, oh my God, can we saying this? On paper, it makes sense to make this move. It does. I hate to say that. Like I said, I like Jaylen Brown. I do. But on paper, it makes sense to make this move. Ben is a better facilitator. Ben is a better defender. So for those two reasons alone, well, once again, Jaylen scores better. Duh, that's not debatable. But they need defense. They need a guy that can move the ball. And if you continue to get shooters around someone like Simmons and Tatum, let Al Horford be a secondary playmaker, now you may be looking at something. I don't think this happens. I think Brad Stevens wants to go home to his family. Not to sound like
it's a weekly segment.
Yeah,
weekly segment.
It got super dark. It got super dark real quick. I'm saying he wants to go into his family, to his loving 2 kids and his wife. So I don't think he makes this move. But if he does, it's not a matter of he hates Jaylen Brown and Jaylen Brown's the worst guy on earth. He loves Jaylen Brown. They help bring Jaylen Brown in. However, this team does need a shakeup, and hopefully they can attach Marcus Smart on the deal if that's the case. So, Craig, what are your thoughts about that?
Before I ask that, can I ask you, because I am not a basketball savant as you are, what is the issues going on with Ben Simmons in Philadelphia?
I think that, it was stuff going on before this playoffs, but basically the final straw was when it was game 7 against Atlanta, and basically was, 2 feet from the basket. 2 feet! Like, literally just had to lay it up, dunk it, and one. Game's probably over. Philly's going on to the conference finals, maybe even the finals, right? So he gets there, and say you're right, he passes it. He got fouled, but he passed it. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, all you got to do is score. The game's over. Like, we're gonna win. He misses the free throws, and Atlanta ends up winning the game and goes on to the conference finals. So, and then Doc Rivers didn't help it after the game. Doc Rivers comes like, I just basically, I don't know what's wrong with him type thing. Like, he just basically threw him under the bus. How Joel Embiid don't hold no punches. So Joel Embiid went at his rack, and now they're trying to save face now. But yeah, I just think it's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I think it goes back from the Brett Brown days too, where they just wasn't listening to the Brett Brown days. tuning Brett Brown out, kind of like how Tatum and Brown ended up tuning out Brad Stevens. And I think it's a multitude. Like, I'm not locked into Philly like that. I know some people that are fans of that team, but I haven't heard too much from them as to what the issue was. But I just think that he's been someone that's been caught over his whole life. So when you have someone that's trying to hold him accountable to be a better player, that's why I think it's gone on. And that's why I think the issues have went south to Philly.
It just seems like to me that based on everything that's come out that I've heard over the last, oh God, how long's the process been? Since 2016, 17, something like that?
Yeah.
It seems like everybody that's come out of the process has been just ended up being soft as dog shit. Whether it's Markelle Fultz or Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid or the guy that ended up going to Brooklyn or New York and the Knicks or something like that. It just seems like every player that they brought in during the process to make the Philadelphia 76ers the next team in basketball ends up being this, weak ass bitches.
Yeah, pretty much. But what's wild? So actually, it even goes back further than 20. So because Embiid was drafted in 2014, right?
Okay, so also it's even been longer than that,
right? Even worse. But I listen and once again, hindsight, as we all know, was always 2020. At the time these moves were made, so in 3 years' time, they drafted Embiid, Jahlil Okafor from Duke, then Ben Simmons. On paper, you're like, hey, we're back. Because you draft those 3 guys, you should be on your way. Even if they don't stay there, you want to use them as a piece to get some other stars there, fine. You're on your way. Then the next year, and I put in quotations, they fleece Boston by getting the number 1 pick and trading for the 3rd. And you get Fultz. Fultz was a problem coming out of Washington. I wanted Marcangelo Fultz to come to Boston badly. I was like, yo, to him to back up IT at the time, I didn't think they were going to trade IT. I want him to back up IT, and then if IT gets a little older and you want to move over him, you got Fultz, Tatum, Brown, whatever for the future. This is great. Didn't work out that way. Then they had the number 8 pick the next year. Well, like you said, that pick went to Brooklyn, and that pick turned out to be really good. Actually, the pick became Donald Sexton. He's now getting 20 points, 8 assists in Cleveland, and they have a point guard in Philly. It's like, what is going on? You had a guy that was going to get you 20 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. You had him every night. Now he's in there doing it for Cleveland, and now y'all don't know who y'all point guard is because he's taking a mental health break. Like, it's unbelievable. It's like, and I shouldn't laugh, but it's unbelievable how they've had a lot of great drafters. They have. That's not debatable. Once again, on paper. But it's amazing. Like, I mean, Matisse Thybulle is a problem, and they stole him from us. Like, we basically traded Carson Edwards for him, and to this day, I mean, granted, we all wanted Carson Edwards here. I thought he was going to be lights out off the bench, but Thybulle is everything this team needed and more, and they basically gave it away for free. But yeah, I don't know. Doc Rivers is old school. He's not going to cater like how some of these new age coaches are going to be like, it's okay. Like, where to support. Doc was like, fuck that. I'm trying to win games. And matter of fact, they're up on Milwaukee right now in the 3rd quarter. Like, they've been the Bulls. They've been, they've had a really good year so far, meaning Philadelphia. So they're going to play hard with or without Ben Simmons. So, but needless to say, and we'll wrap it on this and go into the Red Sox. But I do think that deal ends up happening. I do because
with Jaylen Brown,
because to me, I think they have to sit there and assess like, okay, can this team currently constructed get us to the promised land? They've gone to the conference finals. They've made previous runs, but it hasn't happened. And I told someone yesterday that I was speaking to, I said, remember when Danny Ainge got here in 2003? Paul had made a few All-Star teams by then. Antoine Walker made a few All-Star teams. They were supposed to be the next guys, right? And they lose to the Nets in 2002 in the conference finals. Then I think they lost to New Jersey again next year in the 2nd round. They lost to New Jersey in 2003 again because New Jersey ended up going to the finals and lost to San Antonio in 6. But Danny Ainge comes in that summer, basically says, hey, we're training Antoine Walker to the Dallas Mavericks. And flat out said, this team, as currently constructed, has gone as far as it can go. So I wonder if history is repeating itself with Brad Stevens. And maybe he's saying, hey, Danny broke up 2 All-Stars, and then those guys ended up winning rings on their own. Maybe we can do the same thing here. Yes, in theory, of course, if you can just only give up Smart, Neesmith, Langford, Richardson, and like somebody, of course. Because listen, Simmons, Brown, and Tatum, what? Yes. Listen, injected into my veins, they probably go to the finals. That's not hard to fathom, but Daryl Morey would get pitchfork down to Philly. And that's probably not appropriate to say, so you can exit out if you need that. But he would get chased out. Sorry, PC. He would get chased out of Philly. He would get chased out on Broad Street, which is one of the main streets down there. He would get chased out of Broad Street, out of Geno's, out of Pat's, out of the Spectrum Center down there. It's not the Spectrum Center no more, but whatever it's called now, Wachovia Center, whatever it's called. That's how we're starting to get old. He would get chased out of there if he traded Ben Simmons or just Marcus Smart. No way. So if Daryl Morey does that, I mean, that'd be great. That'd be one of the biggest assists of all time. But I'll take it because Marcus Smart got to go. So he's got to go immediately.
I don't think it's not unprecedented in the NBA that you have this team of collective superstars. I'm not going to say superstars, but you have a team of stars or very good players. Then you break them apart and the team suddenly gets better because there was a lot of talent on this Boston Celtics team. I just think that they're so young and together that if they're, I don't know. I just never felt that Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum connection like I should have. That's just me.
No, it's not just you. And I think people are starting to realize it more and more, which is why the frustrations are growing by the second. And it's not just with them too. Like I said, the frustration is through the roof. And then some with Marcus Smart, like fans are just fucking done. Like they're done. Like my good friend, and you might know him too, when he went to Duke, Leo Stern cannot fucking stand Marcus Smart. Like if he could slash Marcus Smart's tires on the way to the game, he would. Like he thinks Marcus Smart is the worst fucking basketball player of like all time. Like, that's how then once again, just from my IQ standpoint, I'm not saying we're just off the court. It's on the court. His IQ is just not where he thinks it should be. And once again, when you're not winning, that stuff gets highlighted. And Marcus Smart to get better. It's a shame that a 35-year-old is your best player right now. Al Horford's been phenomenal.
Yeah, to me, that's a 25-year-old Al Horford back.
Right, yeah, pretty much. So which I knew he'd come back and play him. Like he's just stable. He's a stabilizing force. Like, and it's funny for a guy that's quiet. He was built to play here. He was just built to play here. I think to me, I hope he finishes his career. I do. I think that he's someone.
I think he loves it here.
Yeah, he does. Family loves him here, clearly.
His sister has said as much, Anna has said as much. I don't think there's any reason why he would want to leave.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, he shouldn't be their best player right now. So once again, I'm glad he's back. He's been balling, but but there's still been some bright spots. Rob Williams has looked great. Greg Williams had a nice start to the season. So there are some things that are still wonderful to talk about with the team, but just that Bulls game broke me, man. I said it to you on the group chat. You can't lose that type of game. But even now with the Dallas game, right? Because we haven't been on since then. You foul Luka Doncic when you had a chance to get the ball back, and then he comes back and gets a 3 to win the game. It's just like that's why stuff like that's why people are done with Marcus Smart, right? And you still have people that openly defend him, and I get it because I'll see what you think about this next statement I'm about to make. Marcus Smart should have been our Dustin Pedroia. And what I mean by that, that dirt dog mentality, right? The guy that's quote unquote an underdog, the guy you don't think is gonna do. Because remember, when Marcus Smart got here, it was kind of like, he's replacing this guy, and is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? And the shooting numbers wasn't great, just like how I was here at 160, and then what happened after that? Laser show, right? Like he had a rocky start, then he got fired, and obviously his second year he wins MVP, meaning Dustin Pedroia. But they both have rocky starts in their career, but just always that hustle, that grit, that grind. Like they were very similar in how they played, essentially, which basically ended his career shortly, meaning Pedroia, because of how hard he played on a regular basis. And I still won't forgive Manny Machado for that bullshit. But that's a whole nother podcast another day. But yeah, I don't know. But like I said, this team has a lot to work on. I know even Udoka said we're going to hold on for captains. It's like, bro, finding a fucking captain, like I don't care if it's Captain Phillips at this moment, like that's not the least of your concern, bro. Like, I need a lot more to worry about who the fucking captain is. That has nothing to do with not playing defense when it matters, not passing the ball. Like, there's so many other things that need to get better with this team that has nothing to do with captains and who's leading here. And, so-and-so let this team in. So-and-so, who cares, man? Just win some fucking games. And like I said, I'm now an employee at TD Garden, so now I get to see this bullshit up close. Yeah, so I get to see this bullshit up close, and I'm just like, I'm not happy about that at all. I'll be there. I said we're recording this on a Tuesday night, so I'll be there. Actually, I'll be there for the rest of the week, but it's just like, oh my God. I get to see this massacre on a regular basis, and I'm not happy about that. But, the checks look nice.
So when you compare Marcus Smart to like Dustin Pedroia or something like that, I love you, but I couldn't disagree with you more. Dustin Pedroia is one of those guys that just wanted to be out there no matter what, who was competing at an MVP level at all times. I mean, dirt dog stuff like that. I never see any of that from Marcus Smart, man. Someone that plays hard as well. I mean, not necessarily something,
not a direct comparison, but someone that, it was what he wants it, because I feel like Pedroia always wanted. Marcus Smart wants it so badly, but he wants it so badly that he can't see the forest from the trees. It's like, bro, you got to know how to remove yourself from a situation and let other guys dominate. Understand your role. Know your role. and literally, know your role workers and shut your mouth. Literally. Because you talking to the media about what Taylor Brown ain't doing? No, sir. Because once again, they're not fouling somebody with a chance to win the game. They're not doing that. You have to use your hands. So know your role, Marcus. Know it. And just keep your mouth closed, bro. Whatever you want to address in the locker room, cool, do that. You want to be that guy there. You want to be the Malcolm X in the locker room, cool, brother. Like, do that shit in there, cool. But don't come out to the podium like you Draymond Green. That's basically how he's acting. He's Draymond. You're not there, bro. Had we won, we wouldn't bitch about Marcus. But because we haven't won, that's why we go ham on him. Because if he won, we were looking at like Draymond Green. Because he does everything Draymond Green does, just to a lesser version. But if we won with him, we would have complained about the half the stuff he does because we won. But that's just how I see it. But like I said, that's enough on the Celtics, man. Like I said before, let's close this out with some Red Sox talk. So my guy, my favorite Red Sox player currently, JD, Just Dingers Martinez, opting for his final year of a 5-year, $110 million deal that he signed back in 2018. So, do you think this is his final season in the Red Sox uniform?
I thought it was going to be last season. I did not think he would pick up his options last year. I felt like, based on everything that we saw from him last year, this would be the season because when Scott Boras built his contract for the Red Sox, he built it as a 5-year deal, but the last 3 years were option deals. So the last 3 years, he's had options to opt out of his deal. So he didn't do it the first time. He wasn't going to do it the last time because he sucked last year during the COVID year. And this year, he had a phenomenal year. He had a great year. He had 50 doubles. He had 28 home runs. He hit about 300 or over that. I thought, he's going to opt out. He can get more than $18 million on the market, but no, he's going to be back. He'll be your designated hitter once again. That's a good thing. The Red Sox would have really liked to have him opt out because they really would have liked to have had that cap space, but that's nitpicking. But I'm happy he's back. He's a good offensive player. He's not that great in the field, as we've seen in his 5 seasons here, but he doesn't need to be. As long as he just needs to supply an offense to this team, and he's going to keep doing that next year. So I'm happy he's back.
So what about Kyle for Wealth then? Like, does he need to come back? Or are we entrusting our first base ship over to Bobby Dalbec or to your guy Tristan Casas down in the minor leagues?
See, this is where I'm happy I'm not in Chaim Bloom's shoes right now, because first base for me is a real quagmire. Do I want Kyle Schwarber back? I thought he was really good. I thought he was a really good Red Sox. I thought he was having a career year with Washington. And would I welcome him back? Absolutely. But I have a lot of questions, not just about first base of the Red Sox, but about the infield, because I don't know what's happening. They need to find somebody to play second base full time. That was supposed to be Kike Fernandez. He's now a full-time center fielder. He said so on Instagram. They don't have a second baseman. There's a lot of rumors right now that they might go for Carlos Correa, and they don't know where Rafael Devers is going to end up either. Rafael Devers is still a growing bite. He's only 24 years old. He's still going to grow. So there's a lot of rumors that he may end up at first base. And first of all, Chaim Bloom needs to do whatever he can do this offseason to try and lock Devers up, because you cannot let him get to free agency in 2 to 3 years. You cannot let that happen. But this infield right now is really in flux for the Red Sox, and I don't know who's going to be their first baseman this next offseason. Bobby Dahlbeck did not have an exceptional year at first base by any means, but he hit 20-something home runs. He barreled the ball a lot, and that's very valuable. But then you have Tristan Casas, too, who's probably going to hit 40, 45 home runs in Major League ballparks this when he finally gets up. So, and then you add in that Kyle Schwarber as well. He has one position at this point because the outfield is taken. It's going to be Verdugo, Hernandez, and Renfroe again next year.
Also, you think Renfroe comes back then? I know he only signed a 1-year deal.
No, he still has arbitration years left.
Got you. Okay.
People are stunned when I tell them that. They're like,
I know he's been around for a while, so I'm like, I don't remember. Yeah.
So we had, they picked him up last year. He's still got an arbitration year, so he'll get a raise this year, but he won't be. He'll be right back in. He'll be right back in right field for the Red Sox next season.
Huh. Okay.
Right now, the biggest problem right now to look into is the right side of the infield. It's just that it's not really a problem. It's who's going to play there. Because right now it's Bobby Dahlbeck. So, do I want Kyle Schwarber back? Yes. Do I think he's going to be back? No. I just don't think he fits in the plans right now.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, he was such a this wasn't a Doug McCabe type thing. Like, you saw him play and was like, this guy is Boston. This guy, he just fits. He fits here. He fit like a glove, like Millard did. He fit like he fit like Damon did. Like, you could just tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the crowd took to him right. So I think you just do what you can. And I'm sorry, Kiki, that's what she was signed for, bro. Like, I understand he had a really good season in center field, but like, if you can move him and then bring your guy that you want to pair Duran, that they have on the postseason roster, which I'm like, don't even get me started on that shit. If you can get him in center field and put Kiki in second, and then you move Schwarber to left and then Verdugo to right, maybe because like Hunter wasn't supposed to play every day either. He caught fire. Hunter wasn't supposed to play every day. Hunter caught fire. That's why it was like, oh, okay, this guy can mash it. And we need him. We need his offense, and we need his offense in the lineup. But yeah, you can put Schwarber in left, Duran in center, and then Verdugo on right, and then put Kike in second. Bogey in short, Devers at third, and then and Dahlbeck at first. Depending how you want, and then whatever utility guys you want to bring in.
Right. Now that figures itself out.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, that worked. So if that's the case, then you want to bring Cassius up come June. Okay. Do you think about bringing Jeter Downs up here too at some point? Do you do that?
I'm happy you brought that up because the plan of Kike Hernandez coming in here and playing second baseman was for him to play there for maybe a year, maybe 2 years, or half a year this upcoming year. And Jeter Downs would be the starters. That would be his position when he came up because he's the second baseman. That's all he's ever played. He didn't have a good year at AAA. He's not doing great at the Arizona Fall League right now. So I'm not sure how well that plan's going, but he won't be ready for next season. Definitely not. So, I'm not against what you just said. If they can move Kike back to second, and then they can manipulate the outfield a little bit, I'd be all for bringing Schwarber back, but I just don't see that in the cards right now.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what it would take, I guess. I mean, I don't know where he would have options to sign. I mean, obviously, a player that's that talented, he was coming off a career year before he got the groin injury or whatever. But to me, I just think that, if I'm Chaim, if you want someone keeping a continuity, like clearly he's fitting in with the chemistry, that's big. And it's funny because I was just watching like a little bit of a documentary of the 04 team before we came on tonight. The team of misfits, if you want to call it, they were super close. Johnny Damon, Manny, Pedro, Shilling even when he came in the key folk, like they just naturally fit. And those are still some guys that were there from, previous heartbreak. So they was there in 98 against Cleveland. They was there in 99 against New York. They was there in 03, so they had already been through that heartbreak together. So there's something to be said about letting a team that had those mishaps, that had those mistakes happen, to build together. And this same team was 2 games away from the World Series. 2 games with fucked up pitching. Like, just add some pitching, bro. You're good. You're gonna hit. We're not worried about that.
That's where I think their focus needs to be this offseason, against some pitching.
Yeah, just whether it's the bullpen stuff, like, yo, get a fucking closer. Get a closer. This could not be all over again when you're focusing on guys like Scott Williamson and Mike Timlin. Like, you need guys that can shut it down, which is why, they fucked around and got Keith Fogan on 4. So when you're on the clock, Heim, who are you gonna bring in here to get that job done? I like the kid out of Milwaukee. He's not the closer, but he can be a closer. So what's his name? I know he was number 71. I think it's Hader. Is it Hader? Well, that was number 71 from Milwaukee. Whatever. That guy to me could be someone they could bring in. He had a great run a few years ago. I remember their run to the NLCS as well. So yeah. But like I say, there's a lot of stuff going with the Red Sox. I'm happy that Jay, re-signed, and like I said, he's my guy. I know Bobby's like, man, I'm a Xander guy. Well, I'm like, I want the guys gonna hit the bombs, and JD to me is the best opposite field hitter we have in this game, or at least top 3. He's phenomenal. And listen, he quit last year. So when say he stopped last year, he didn't stop last year. He quit. So it was like, oh, I'm not playing for this Ron. I'm not playing for Ron. I'm gonna keep fuck Ron. And I don't blame him. Like 60 games, like I'll win. He was okay. We got my guy back. I'm gonna show out, and that's what he did. So he'll show out again next year. He'll get close to 30 home runs and 100 runs batted in and hit 290 or 300, depending on the little stuff that he has. Because we know that he gets hot later on in the year. He starts off cold, but. Yeah, you're right. They have a lot of questions, and I was super emotional. You and I had a nice little group back and forth on Twitter when I was like, "Get rid of everybody." And you sent the gif saying, "I'll slap the shit out of you" type thing, and that's fine. I was emotional. I was pissed off. Like I couldn't believe how some things unfolded, but at the end of the day, this is still a really good team, and they should still be in contention next year. And not having to blow up too many things in order for that to happen. So, any final words from get out of here?
No, I think we filled in everything. I think the A team filled in quite well while everyone else on the show was busy. Talking to you guys, Bob having a baby. Oh, good excuse, buddy.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Bobby.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Congrats, brother. We love you.
He made a baby.
Yes, made a baby. So love to see a newest member of the MTP show. So we got a new member. So that's awesome. We gotta get the baby onesie on the way. We gotta get that on there too.
We have baby onesie. Check the merch link in the description. We'll get all that though.
That's right. So all right. So for Craig D'Alessandro, I'm Rayshawn Buchanan. So we'll see you next time. Peace.
Miles, are you ready to record our promo for Season 2 of the Wanna Bet podcast?
David, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Miles, we're not here to quote lines from Airplane. We're here to tell people that Season 2 starts August 18th.
But I like Airplane.
I know you do, but Wanna Bet is a sports betting podcast. Each week we bet $1,000 on the NFL teams and games that we love.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun. And last year you picked over 60% of your games correctly.
How'd you do?
We're not talking about that. We are telling people that they can find us every Friday. So no more movie quotes.
Roger.
Electricast. Welcome to the Reverie channel, where entertainment knows no bounds. Live concerts, on-demand music, documentaries, and short films, all in stunning HD. Now on Roku TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Immerse yourself from home. And on Android and iOS for those on the move. Support creators with crowdfunding donations. Fuel their creativity. Join us in shaping entertainment's future. The Reverie channel, where every view, every donation matters.
Electricast.